Kia ora koutou katoa, nau mai hara mai ki te ao Hākinakina, your sports show right here on your Tribal Pulse. Te kore mako o Taranaki, 94.8 FM and 98.4 FM. Well, he is a former professional rugby league player who represented the Newcastle Knights in the NRL and captained the Junior Kiwis. He is also of proud Māori and Indian heritage, and after retiring from rugby league due to injury, he's continued his journey in sport through cricket. Now working in Māori engagement with New Zealand cricket, we're excited to kōrero about his sporting career and about his cultural identity and life beyond the game. Nau mai, hara mai, David Bhana. Kia ora, my brother.
Tēnā koe te rangatira. Me koutou I raru I te korowai o te kāhui maunga o Taranaki. Ai, tēnā tātou.
Kia ora, bro. Hey, been looking forward to catching up with you and having a kōrero on our show. It's an absolute honour and a privilege to have you on the show here, bro. But before we get started, ko wai koe, no he koe, just a little bit about yourself and where you're from.
Tēnā koe, bro. No ngā pui me ngā tikahu ki whangaroa, o Kuiwi. No Inia, rātou ko Airani me Kōtirana, o Kutupuna, I hara mai ki konei I Aotearoa. Ai, tupu au ki konei I Tāmaki Makaurau, I te raki pai whenua, Nori North Shore. So yeah, born and raised here in North Shore in Birkdale, Beach Haven. But yeah, whakapapa up north, as well as over to Ireland, Scotland, and yeah, India, where my last name comes from.
Beautiful, bro. Beautiful. Did I pronounce it the right way? How's it pronounced?
Yeah, ka pai Bhana. Yeah. Or as far as I know, anyway.
Awesome, bro. Awesome. Now, the Naughty North Shore, as you said, tell us a little bit about your upbringing on the North Shore. Now, I know there's some amazing sportsmen and women that come out of that area, but how did tell us a little bit about your upbringing there and how sport became such a big part of your life?
Yeah, sport's always been, I think, part of not just my whānau, but the hapori here. We have a proud, Māori, Pacific little population here, and particularly in Beach Haven, Glenfield, Northcote, which, people are surprised about. When you think of North Shore, you don't really think about, rugby league and rugby and all that, or you probably think of rugby more in the bays and kind of that South African and Pākehā kind of whakapapa. But yeah, we've always played rugby league here. My father, my grandfathers, all my uncles, aunties, and mum were always part of the club, Northcote Tigers, with some of your whanaunga who have done some great things. Taylor Bear, Taylor Daniels, Willie, Iriwata. So I grew up with them. We had a tight-knit community, always playing rugby league. But then in the summer, I'd go and play at Birkenhead Memorial as well. So I'd spend pretty much my whole year up there playing for Birkenhead City in the summer in cricket, and then in the winter with Northcote. So like you said, there's been some awesome athletes that have come out of here. I think of Kevin Locke. I think of Portia. Portia was doing the things she was doing in primary. So was not surprised at all when she went on to do amazing things. But yeah, some great people around who have really nurtured and try to sustain, our presence, Futupōro Riki in particular, trying to make it we're a club with deep history here, so trying to make that sustainable for the future as well. So, yep, it always has been, and I'm hoping it always will be part of our whakapapa, part of our hapori.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love that. The Northcote Tigers is such a great club. Produced many stars over many years, and I remember them as a young fella. All those greats coming through the grades back then, most definitely. Now, your rugby league career kind of went through the roof there. Like, what was it like? You captained the Junior Kiwis. And I think you were named in the NYC Team of the Year when you were playing in the 20s, 21s. Is that right?
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it was everyone's dream really to play in that system, especially with the legacy that that those early NYC teams had given the Junior Warriors. So yeah, was very, very honoured, very proud to represent. Yeah, I was. We kept things very simple under John Ackland. He had a very simple game plan, but he filled us with all the confidence that if we went out there and did our roles and executed that we'd get the result. And we had really, I think back we had people like Andrew Suter, who just inspirational to everyone. Anyone that goes through has been through that warrior system. You talk about Chills. He's played a big role in making some great young men. So we had all the people around to do well, and unfortunately, in my year, we got pipped at the post, beaten by a very strong Penrith team. We had the likes of Dallin, Bryce Cartwright, James Roberts. They had a very strong team, but I think we took it to them and almost got over the line, but it wasn't to be that year. So still a bit salty. But afterwards, those like with Mason and Jazz and Belzy, they went on to continue that legacy as well. So was really, really proud to be a part of that 20s brotherhood. VF20 brotherhood is kind of what we all identified as. So always be a special time in my life.
Beautiful. Love that. And some very good players there that you mentioned. But you did kick on, and ended up over at the Newcastle Knights. What was it like running out for the first time, in an NRL game? That must have been a bit of an experience for you.
Oh, yeah, can't really describe it. I went over there after a few years in the full time at the Warriors and not quite making a debut. We the contract ended there, so we had to look for somewhere else. And I was very lucky actually that former teammate Ryan Hoffman had kind of. Nathan Brown had reached out to him to ask about, the qualities of me because they were looking to sign up, and he gave me a glowing, I suppose, reference, and always be very grateful to him for that. Just went over with just wanting to be a sponge and absorb as much as I could because they had some, in particular, in the dummy half role where I'd kind of was morphing into. Didn't have a lot of experience or real positional training in my first few years there. So once I went to Newcastle under Danny Baderis at the time, just learned so much and opened my eyes, and there was a reason why he was, before Cam Smith was regarded as the best hooker in the NRL. His partnership with Andrew Johns is, stuff a legend. Worked really hard in the preseason, and was kind of rewarded for that hard work with the debut in the first round against Gold Coast. So just try to keep it real simple. I think we were playing some of my old mates, Iggy Ignatius Parsi, and I'm not sure if Connie was there at the time, but I just kind of try to keep it simple, try to go out and, play as high energy as I could and, do my role. Didn't help that we didn't have any, someone misplaced the sideline jackets. So we were sitting on the sideline and it was bucketing down, and I didn't go on to the second half. So I was shivering, just trying to psych myself up. But got out there. I think I almost got steamrolled first tackle from Iggy, and that kind of woke me up straight away. So yeah, afterwards, I can't remember too much of the game, but I remember, just that feeling of walking around and seeing my whānau in the crowd. And some of my, my mum, dad, and my whānau had flown over, but then had some cousins in the Gold Coast who come over. It was real special to just see them in the crowd and see how proud they were of, of me and our, our name being out on the field and kind of etched in there forever. I think there can't have been too many players of Indian whakapapa who've played before that or since. So, that's something real special to hold on to. And it was just a dream come true.
Dream come true, all right, and very well deserved. Well, make sure to stay tuned, Bhana, because we're going to come back shortly to talk to David about his cricket journey and some of the stuff he went through with his injury, which changed the trajectory of his career into the future. Make sure to stay tuned, Bhana. Kia ora koutou wānau, welcome back to Te Ao Hākinakina, your sports show right here on your Tribal Pulse Te Kore Mako o Taranaki. Now, David, you had, injuries are a tough part of sports. And can you share with us what happened in 2017 and how you cope with that setback?
I unfortunately, had a pretty nasty injury in that season. It was quite unfortunate that early in that season I had appendicitis, our first kind of training back from the preseason. Wasn't feeling too good. They sent me to the doctors, and a couple of hours later I was getting my appendix removed. So I missed a lot of the preseason and the New Year's. So just come back just before the season, and it was starting to get into a bit of a rhythm. And unfortunately went down to Manly Easter weekend and went to take a skirt out of dummy half, and I think it's probably a precursor to kind of the hip drop. This, on the most extreme case, they've put the defender's put all his weight through my knee, and I've dislocated my knee joint. So I tore, all the kind of CLs that you've got in the knee, and tore my Henry tendon off the bone, and a bit of nerve damage where I couldn't really move my foot. So, that was a pretty scary time. And really test your mental resolve. Not just if whether you return, but there was times there where the doctors weren't really sure whether I'd be able to walk properly again, because I was only able to move my toes at the start. So really grateful to all the hapori there in Newcastle who looked after me, especially the surgeons and the nurses, because I know it was a bit of a pain having to get a few surgeries there. Always when I'm up there, try to send my aroha out to them. But it was always I thought it was always going to be part of my journey, not being the superstar in football. So I always made sure I had something to fall back on. So at the time I was doing a grad cert at the University of Newcastle, and that kind of kept me a bit sane that I had something that I had to do, because I obviously couldn't train or do any of that stuff. I kind of threw myself into that endeavor, and got a decent grade out of that. I think I graduated with distinction on that cert. So I was really lucky that I had something to fall back on. But unfortunately, the contract ended, and I decided I'd rather come home and spend time with the whānau and kind of recuperate here rather than go at it alone over in Newcastle. But yeah, always, always have love for that place. It's a beautiful place, and it's got a special place in my heart for sure. But wanted to come home and be around the whānau and the hapori that raised me and give back to them. So yeah.
Nice. Yeah. No, you're not wrong. Newcastle's a beautiful place, but no place like home with your whānau. And after rugby league, what kind of inspired you to get involved with New Zealand cricket and Māori engagement? And what does your role, the tikanga Māori at New Zealand cricket, kind of involve? And why is it so important?
Yeah, it was quite random actually. I was actually working in Tiaki o Te Taiao with our tupuna maunga here in Tāmaki. So working in that co-governance space, and I was lucky enough to get that when I came back actually. So I was there for about 8 years, and was looking for probably just something to freshen up, something new, and this role came through and put my tono in and was lucky enough to get it. But I think it's really important because this kirikiti's part of, well, there isn't a story of kirikiti here in Aotearoa without Māori. Let's put it that way. The first games, up in Waitangi, Paihia, all recorded in the early 1800s, playing with, young Māori tamariki or, with the Māori hapori. So, we've been in this game for a long time. I think we've just been sidelined a bit by the, some of the tikanga that cricket brought with it, in terms of its quite, how do you put it, this quite, hierarchical kind of, from England, and some of the clubs there not being as welcoming to our to our tamariki, to our rangatahi as they could be. So it's something that's been identified by New Zealand cricket that they want to be representing Aotearoa in its fullest, and they acknowledge that without Te Ao Māori they can't do that. So they've put some resource to trying to make not just their hapori, their cricket network, but also trying to make the game itself more inviting and welcoming to our Māori community. So it's a real powerful, and they're doing. I'm really proud to say that although we don't have a big hapori Māori playing cricket, we have some real shining lights. The likes of Eden Carson, the likes of Reece Mariu coming through, the Trent Bolts, and some of our greatest players are Māori. Adam Parore, Shane Bond. So we have some real great role models going through. But I think where my energy would be better spent is helping our hapori be more welcoming and taking cricket to Māori, making sure it's seen, it's played in the kura, or in those spaces where we are not just waiting for Māori to come into the game. So that's kind of where I think my energy would be best, and I'm really proud that they're actually taking those steps, because it's one thing to say it, but another thing to actually commit and do it. So we're not there. There's still a long way to go, but the commitment's there, I suppose.
Beautiful. Love the initiative, and they've got the right man at the helm to help take that Māori tikanga, that Māori inclusion into the game. So awesome, bro. It's been an absolute privilege having you on the show. Your journey from rugby league to cricket and your commitment to uplifting Māori voices in the sport is truly inspiring, bro. Even, you bounce back from your injury and all that jazz. It's been an absolute privilege to have you on the show. Ngā mihi nui, and thank you for sharing your story with us.